We're going to do factoring using the greatest common factor. To make a small review of what that is, if I took two numbers, in this case 36 and 8, and I want to find the greatest common factor between these two, I would simply take 36. I make what I call a factor tree. Not really a tree, it's a branch. I cut it by 2. I end up with what? 2 times 18. I cut it again. I have 2 times 9. I'm going to cut it again, and it's 3 times 3. Now, these are all the factors that are involved in making up 36. I just make the climb. So the prime numbers are 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay? And you got to think they're all being multiplied together. This is going to make sense when I do another problem. And if we did 8, if I factor out the 2, that's prime, so I'm going to circle it. It becomes 4 over here. And then I can factor 4 into 2 and 2. So his respective factors are 2 times 2 times 2. So what do they have in common? The greatest common factor between them, you just take what you see in both of them, 2 times 2, which is going to be equal to 4. That is the greatest common factor you have between these two numbers, okay? Now, keep in mind, there's a big difference between greatest common factor and least common multiple, the two different things. This is usually a relatively small number, okay? Now I'm going to show you another thing, and we're going to think of it as this. Ooh, that's really confusing. But what it is I really want to write it 2x squared, okay? 2x squared plus 8x. Now I'm going to take out the factors of these things. Let me start with this guy first. So I have 2x squared. The factors of this would be 2 times x squared. And the factors of x squared would probably be x times x. So we're just putting this all like this for right now, okay? So if I wrote this down, it'd be 2 times x times x. This may be a little confusing because I pulled the 2 out. I have this left over, but I can break this down to its smaller components. Let's take 8x, and I'm just going to probably just pull it out of this equation. There's 8, right? Which actually, I can pull the 2 out, and then I have over here 4x. I can break the 4 down further to 2 times 2, right? But, oops, I can't circle that yet because actually it's 2x, right? 2x. And this can be broken further down to 2 times, and I guess the other component would be x. So the factors for this guy would be 2 times 2 times 2 times x. Now, what can be pulled out of both of these groups? Well, they both have a 2 and they both have an x. So 2x would be equal to the greatest common factor. To move through this, so it makes sense, you can essentially pull 2x out of both numbers. You could write it like this. 2x times, well, if I took 2x out of this part, I'd have x. And what would I have left over for this one? Well, you got to think about this. If I took 2x out here, I just have x left over. That's where I got that. Okay? If I took 2x out of this part, I would have just 4 left over. So that's how you would factor out the greatest common factor using a very simple problem. I'll do another video that goes into more complexity, but that pretty much gives you the nuts and bolts of this.